Hello everyone, it's the Psalmist here. Today I just want to speak to you about why are the most equipped, the most liberated, the most free generation of youth depressed? Well, the answer is that they have no purpose in life. But it's not as easy as just saying that because they have no direction in life or they have no way of life that makes them feel significant. When a child turns 11, 12, 13, their soul breaks through. That means now they are discovering themselves as human beings. Before that, they were only worried about eating, play, and sleeping and repeating that. But now, because their soul has broken through, they are now starting to see what is going on around them and what is going on around us: evil, suffering, pain, death. And the children see this. And when they see this, because their soul has broken through, it makes them sad and melancholic. So sometimes these children will just lock themselves away because nobody understands them. Nobody sees the world the way that they see it. And what do the parents do? The parents tell them that you need to get your grades up. You need to pass your mathematics. You need to pass your science. But in the mind of a child, in the heart of a child, in the soul of a child, he doesn't see mathematics as important. He doesn't see science as important. What the child sees is children who are dying because of hunger in some third world countries as a challenge to him. Why? Every child is a potential blessing to all mankind because of what they're going to bring into the world, the thing that God has sent through them. Now, that is their purpose. But their parents want them to have a career. Their parents want them to make money, to be rich, or to take over their company. They don't want to understand what this child is, who this child is. At this time, at this period of a teenager, a child is not looking for a parent, he's looking for a friend, but a friend who is a parent. When a friend is a parent, they listen with an ear of a friend, but they speak with the advice and the counsel of a parent who is loving and kind to their child. So the child becomes depressed because nobody understands them. They have just discovered who they are and they want to bring out who they are for the benefit of more mankind. But all the parent wants is that they should be successful, pass their high school, go to university, get a degree so they could come back and make money. But that's not what they're worried about. So it is the most natural thing that a human being goes through is to look for purpose, is to look for reason to exist. Science cannot answer this kind of question. Why do I live? What am I doing here? Why was I born? You were merely conceived and gave birth to. They can't explain. They can't tell you that we gave birth to you because of this. No, you have to find out for yourself. Think about it. Let's think about the movies which we love, the movies that, especially young people love. They love romantic movies because it's romance, it's love. They love adventure movies like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings because in Lord of the Rings and in Harry Potter there's blood, there's suffering, there's failure, there's falling down and coming up. There is glory in the end. There is a goal. You know the main actor in the movie is trying to do. You may not really know what the result is going to be, but you walk with him in where he's trying to go. This is what kids are looking for. They are looking for a real life goal which will drive them, which will push them, where there will be blood, there will be suffering, and there will be glory. There will be falling down, there will be coming up, there will be tears. So they are depressed because they have no purpose. They want an adventure which is just for them. But the problem is that instead of giving them an adventure which is just for them, we try to make them conform and be like everybody else by giving them an education. A child does not need an education. I repeat, they say education is best, but I'm telling you, a child does not need an education. A child needs development. In sports, they don't necessarily teach you a lot of things. They just give you the ball, at a basketball or football. If you have a strong arm, they're gonna give you a position based on your arm, and they're gonna develop your arm, and they're gonna help you to be a team player, to be able to work with other people to achieve a certain goal. That's why there's talent scouts. They are going to scout for talent. They are going to scout for gifts. Children who are gifted, they have this thing from birth. No one taught them. But because this thing must become applicable in a team environment for one goal, that's where the development comes in, to be able to know that there's 10 other players who are on the same team as me. Our goal is to achieve and win the championship. So that's not education, it is development. But in the school system, what you have is not development, it's education. What you have is a menu. You have to make it in life through that menu. If you cannot make it in life through that menu, you're a failure. You're an outcast. You're a loser. That's why in South Africa, you have kids who are committing suicide because they failed matric. Because they understand that they can't go to matric, they can't get the varsity, they can't get varsity, they can't get good paying jobs. That means they're failures. Because the menu is the same and they're gonna be depressed. Why? Because they want to belong something. They want to belong to a goal, to something that is bigger than them, something to die for. Everybody in life truly wants something to die for. That's why we have people whom we celebrate, because they stood for something and were willing to die. We admire that in them because everybody wants that. Everybody wants to live for something that they can die for. When the devil offered Jesus Christ all the kingdoms and riches of the world, he rejected it. Why? Because he had purpose, and his purpose was to do the will of the Father who sent him. Look, there's so much to learn from Jesus Christ. I don't think that we have time to learn everything. I mean, sometimes we think about what he said. Sometimes we think about his character. But we don't understand that Jesus Christ is life. When he's saying I'm life, he's literally just telling you that look at me and you will live. Not necessarily live in terms of breathing and going to heaven, but you will find meaning in life. Look at that. The devil offers Jesus Christ all the kingdoms of the world and riches, but he rejected. Why? Because he has a purpose. So that means Jesus Christ will never be depressed because he doesn't have food. Jesus Christ will never be depressed because people don't listen to him. Jesus Christ will never be depressed because he's God and people are spitting on his face. No. He's thinking about this thing. Let the will of God come to pass. All nations repent and believe in the gospel. The kingdom of God is at hand. This is his purpose. This is the purpose that he lived for. This is the purpose that he wept for. This is the purpose that he bled for. This is the purpose that he died for. That's why he was never depressed. It is about purpose. And that purpose, if it is truly a purpose, it must bring blessing to all men. Black, white, green, blue, Spanish, Chinese, Zulus, Congolese, Americans, Russians. If truly this is the purpose that God has given you, because God, when he gives to all. When God brings rain, he makes it rain for all. So everyone benefits. The enemies benefit, the children of God benefit. Even your enemies, when they listen to you, they must be blessed by what you're saying. You have to fulfill the mission that God has given you at whatever the cost, at the cost of money or a wife or children or anything. Because if your wife marries you, knowing that you're called by God, she's just like a wife of a soldier, knowing that she could receive that call that you're dead. Why do we live if not for Christ? If not for the revelations of who Christ is? That is purpose. Education cannot give you that. I think that God has been very kind to me that He let me drop out of university and not get all these things, but get Him. And when I got Him, I have all these things. I can see everything clearly, and I can see the will of God in everything. So children are depressed because they don't have that. All they have is flesh, and flesh gets tired, becomes common, and dies, and rots. But the spirit lives on forever and forever, either in hell or in heaven. So it is the spirit which must eat all the time. Do you see that? So children are depressed because they have no hope. They have no hope because they are given a menu in the school system. If they cannot ingest the menu and digest it, and feed their souls, they're hopeless. They have no life. That's why they're depressed. So the parents who are giving these children as gift, they don't know what parenting is. Why? Because no one has taught them. If the spirit can no longer be admitted to carry the body, you're dead. But if the spirit is trying to stay alive, but the body is trying to do something else, you have conflict, and this conflict causes depression. So that's what the children have. They see what is going on in the world. Their souls can see that there's so much evil in the world. There's so much hate, so much pain, so much tears. And because they are the gift from God, they want to change these things, but they don't have the finances. They don't have the power. They don't have the discipleship. They don't have the righteousness which is supposed to be taught by their parents. So they are torn. And because they are torn, they don't want to speak to anyone, because what's the use of speaking if nobody can hear what you're saying? So the kids, they want to speak to the parents, but the parents can't hear them. So no one is teaching these kids that you are a gift, and this is why you're a gift. You're a gift because look at your fingerprints. There's no one in the world among billions of people who has the same fingerprints as you. Look at how special and beautiful you are. Why? Because you were born to bring blessing, your own kind of blessing directly from God to all men of all colors, of all religions. The white child plays with the black child, and the parents come, "We'll never play together again." And the child says, "But why?" I said, "Because I said so. I'm your mother." Are you talking back at your mother? What happened to this kid? When the soul is trying to rise up, you press it down. People want to belong to a group with a mission in which they play an important role towards that mission. That's what they want. That's what children want. But through education, they can't get that. They can only get that through development. Because in development, you develop what is already there. But in education, you say, this is the menu. You're either going to eat this or you're going to vomit. And then if the child cannot eat that, he starves to death. And because he's starving, he becomes depressed. And because he's depressed, he has no hope. Because he has no hope, what is the best thing to do? Take their own lives. Parents get it wrong. Why? Because they don't know better. You don't know because you're a parent or because you're 60 or 70 years old, 1,000 years old. You know because you have learned or you have experienced or you have been inspired to know. It is only through knowledge that we can worship, that we can understand, that we can submit. This is why the Bible says, seek first his kingdom and righteousness. The Bible here is clearly saying that don't even think about believing or submission or anything. First know what God wants, who he is. Because God knows that he is beautiful, that he is loving and he's kind. And you're going to see that. And when you see that, you're going to say, I want that. I want to worship this God. Why? Because he's good, he's kind, he's just, he's righteous, he's graceful. Do you see that? So it is only through knowledge that there can be any kind of reaction towards anything. But the children, they have the soul that breaks through, and the soul now sees what is going on in the world, which is evil, suffering, tears, blood, and then there's a natural desire because they're still kids to want to do good. But because they have no knowledge, they have no righteousness, they have no understanding, they don't know what to do. I'm telling you, this is every child of all nations. It is a Chinese child in Shanghai, it's an American child in California, it's a Xhosa child in Khayelitsha in South Africa, it's a Caucasus child in Russia. They all feel the same thing, that when their souls break through, they see that this world is evil and they want to change that. But the parents come and tell them that you need a career, you need to make money. And they kill the child, and the child dies. And then that their child is expected one day to be a president, to be a king, to be a father, to be a husband. And you're calling your cops to be a father. How is he going to do that? He doesn't know anything. Because you yourself are a corpse because you don't know anything. Because your parents did the same thing to you. They took you away from your gift, from your purpose, from the thing that you were born to do, and gave you a career and said that go and make money. Then why do you expect society to be any different? Why do you expect to have jovial kids, happy kids who have purpose, who have direction in life, who have something that they can bring to the world for the betterment of society, of nations, of all people of different colors and skin tones. Why do we expect that if we have never put anything in them and developed them and helped them so they could see themselves, what gift they are, how unique they are? The very uniqueness that is found in their palms of their hands is in the gift that they possess in their souls. And for that to break through, you need to develop that in goodness and righteousness and love for the benefit of all men. But when you bring a racial system, when you bring apartheid, when you bring slavery, you're confusing the child. Because the child does not see a person in terms of skin color or culture. They see a human being as a brother, a sister. If there is anything about the human being that separates the human being from an animal, is reason. And reason comes because of purpose. And if there's purpose, none of these things, that which you can see and that we cannot see, could have came about because of an accident. Because if there was reason for it to be there, you have a purpose. This is what leads to emptiness, anxieties, and depression, because people have no purpose. So the only way that people can find purpose is through sports, because when your sports team has a purpose, they want to win the championship. So when you align yourself with your sports team, you feel a sort of purposeful, because you have a goal that you want to reach. You have reason to wake up early in the morning because you want to watch your team or you want to train so that you could perform better. If you take your child and stop reading your child some fairy tale which is not real and read the Bible to them, show the adventure of the Bible, the pain, the suffering, the blood, the fall and the going up. Exodus, when the children of Israel were supposed to pass through the Red Sea and it parted. All these things have the same dramatic kind of characteristics like your movies, but the problem is that you don't want to do that. You don't think the Bible is fun. Do you think that children watch Harry Potter because it's fun? No, it's because they are attracted to that adventure, to that that falling down and suffering and pain and blood and sweat and purpose of trying to reach a point. They want that for themselves. But because there's nothing which is real, which they can do, they can only cling to the movies and love the movies. They can't love true life because in true life, there's no such a thing. So the children without the movies are depressed. So those who are not depressed watch movies and cartoons and everything. Those who may not watch movies and cartoons, they are depressed. That's why children are depressed. They have no purpose. They have no purpose in life. They don't know why they are alive. They don't even know why they exist. They have no reason to live. It is only when you have no more reason to live that you're depressed. I'll give you an example. Think about the day when you're not going to work. You have no reason to wake up. And you sort of feel tired even though you have not done anything. Why are you tired if you were not doing anything? You were resting, but you were tired. Why? Because on that day, you have no reason to wake up. You have no purpose. If you can understand that and look at it in terms of life, you understand why children are depressed.